the mother-in-law accidentally discovers that she can hear the thoughts of her mute daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law is about to give birth, and the mother-in-law hears her wanting spicy food. She quickly puts down the apple she's holding and heads home. Soon she makes a bowl of spicy hot pot. However, after a few bites the daughter-in-law starts spitting blood. The mother-in-law is puzzled when the nurse from the confinement center arrives. The nurse scolds her loudly, saying that the new mother can't eat such strong-tasting food, as it could lead to a difficult birth. Seeing this, the son also loses his temper, saying that the mother-in-law doesn't really want to care for the daughter-in-law and is filled with resentment. The mother-in-law can't defend herself, since it was the daughter-in-law who wanted to eat it. But no one believes her. They even say the daughter-in-law is mute and can't speak, so the mother-in-law must be slandering her. This leaves the woman speechless. At that moment, the daughter-in-law feels intense pain in her stomach, and the baby is born prematurely. On the way to the operating room, the mother-in-law hears the daughter-in-law's thoughts again. She rushes home to grab a safety amulet, but halfway through the surgery, the nurse storms out, holding a yellow paper and accusing the mother-in-law of being malicious. She says the mother-in-law cursed the daughter-in-law on such an important day. The woman is completely stunned, not realizing that the safety amulet was seen as a curse. Now she is completely labeled as the evil mother-in-law, facing the accusations from everyone and guilt over the unborn grandson. The mother-in-law's heart gives out and she dies on the spot. Perhaps heaven couldn't bear her suffering, so it gives her a chance at rebirth. Just like in the previous life, she hears the daughter-in-law's thoughts again, thinking about the previous life's ending. The woman understands that the daughter-in-law is not simple. This time she chooses to ignore it. Seeing the woman unmoved, the daughter-in-law becomes anxious. She urgently uses sign language to tell the mother-in-law that she wants spicy food. This scene is also witnessed by the son. He impatiently says he'll go buy it. Soon the son returns with the food she likes. However, after the daughter-in-law eats a couple of bites, she starts spitting blood again, just like in the previous life. The nurse's explanation is also identical. This time it's the son who can't explain himself. He tells his wife to explain to everyone that it was she who wanted the spicy food. The woman also tells everyone it was her idea, but they still believe that the husband threatened her to say so. The son can't understand why his wife would frame him. At this point, the mother-in-law grabs her son and questions how he could abuse his wife. When others hear this, they start discussing it, some pulling out their phones to expose him online, and others even considering calling the police. The man begins begging his wife to help explain, but a kind person directly pushes him into the police station. At this point, the daughter-in-law panics, not realizing that framing the mother-in-law has now implicated her husband. She quickly asks the woman for help with her thoughts, urging her to go to the police station to rescue her husband. The woman reassures her, saying the police will act according to the law, and if her son is innocent, his name will be cleared. She comforts the daughter-in-law, telling her to focus on giving birth. Hearing these words, the daughter-in-law becomes overly emotional and faints. On her way to the delivery room, the daughter-in-law brings up the safety amulet again. The woman intends to act as though nothing happened, but the nurse stops and asks if there is anything that could calm the mother-to-be's emotions. This makes the woman realize she can no longer pretend to be unaware, and she rushes home to fetch it. But when she opens the cabinet, she discovers an ultrasound report she's never seen before. Only then does she realize they've all been played by the daughter-in-law.